Good morning, students. It's me, Miss Sonia, and today we are back with another lesson. As you all know, that we have completed attempts at constitutional reforms, part one, in the previous lecture. So today we are starting with Roundtable Conference 1930 till 1932, and there are other couple of events as well which we are going to study in this slide. Before moving forward, I would like to say that hurry up, grab your notebook along with pencil and pen and start noting the important pointers. And you're already familiar with the other guidelines. So, Roundtable Conference 1930 till 1932 plays a very important role in the historical perspective. There were multiple MCQs along with question and answers which were included in the past papers. Now, moving forward to RTC. In short form, this term is known as RTC. Roundtable Conference 1, well, there were three roundtable conferences, Roundtable Conference 1, 2, and 3. And all the three conferences were different from one another. Starting from the first roundtable conference, the three roundtable conferences of 1930 till 32 were a series of peace conferences organized by the British government and Indian
Yeah,
political personalities to discuss constitutional reforms in India. The basic purpose why roundtable conference was held was that they wanted to discuss about the peace agreements between the Hindus and Muslims, and roundtable conference was organized by British government. You have to remember one thing, all of those things which we have studied in historical background of the subcontinent, either its historical background, either its constitution reforms. So you can see it very clearly in all of these conferences and to everything that whatever events were there, Britishers were included in each and every event, and Britishers were leading that event, and Britishers concluded all of those events. So, starting from Roundtable Conference 1. Roundtable Conference 1, the first conference, it held in Guildhall in London, and the basic perspective, as I've mentioned before about it, that was a pre-peace conference. Now, talking about the first Roundtable Conference, the first Roundtable Conference was organized in London in 1930 to discuss the Simon Commission report. Well, accordingly, when you know this thing that Indians and Muslims, they didn't wanted to remain altogether in the subcontinent, they were demanding for a separate nation. So roundtable conference was actually held to discuss about those peaceful matters, that what should be done next in context that peace should occur between both of the people living over there. The Muslim League, the Hindu Mahasabha, the liberals, and the princes attended it. So all of these peoples were involved, and all of them just attended this conference. Okay. The Indian National Congress boycotted the conference. The major reason that why did Indian National Congress boycotted the conference? Because they were not in favor of this conference. The major reason was Muslims put it forward the demand for a separate nation, and Indians were not in favor of this thing. So Muslim League was represented by Muhammad Ali Johar, Sir Aga Khan, Fazlul Haq, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So all of these people were representatives in the as from the part of Muslim League in London, and as I've mentioned before, that Indian National Congress was not present over there. Now, when I talk about the second roundtable conference, so in second roundtable conference, it was organized in London in 1931 to discuss the Simon Commission report and constitutional reforms of India. So, when I talk about the second roundtable conference, so it was the basic perspective of second roundtable conference was not only one, but there were two perspectives. They wanted to discuss Simon Commission report as well, and they wanted to discuss the constitutional reforms of India as well, in which the Muslim League and the Hindu Mahasabha, the liberals and princes attended it. Congress leaders attended this conference led by Gandhi. In the first conference, the difference between both of the conferences is in the first conference, the Congress was not present, they boycotted, but in the second conference, they were present over there, and Gandhi was representing the Indian National Congress, which was the political party of Indians. Now, when I talk about the third roundtable conference, which held in 1932, the third roundtable conference was organized in London in 1932 to discuss the constitutional reforms of India. Now, the basic purpose to held it in London was that they wanted to discuss constitutional reforms. You can see it very clearly that the reforms of Simon Commission are not mentioned in the third roundtable conference. Jinnah did not attend the conference, and other Muslim leaders attended the conference. Congress leaders boycotted and they didn't attended the conference. The major reason that why did the Congress leaders boycotted, because they were not invited in the third roundtable conference. I'm sorry, when I talk about the third roundtable conference, so let me tell you, the leaders of Muslim League were not invited in the conference. Congress leaders, which was the political party of Indians, they were invited, but they boycotted and they didn't attend the conference. Same goes with the Muslim leaders as well. Now, the reasons of failures of all the three conferences were okay. These questions come in the paper that were all of the conferences proved to be a failure at the end. So no, the first conference was somehow a success in favor of Muslims, but not in favor of Indians. But when I talk about the second and the third roundtable conference, then it was not in favor of both of the political parties. Now, the first reason. First conference was failed because Congress was absent. Second conference was failed because of the rigid behavior of Gandhi. Third conference was failed because Congress was again absent and the British government did not reach any conclusion. Now, talking about Gandhi Irwin Pact. The background story of Gandhi Irwin Pact, which you're already familiar in the previous classes, let me just discuss it in a summarized form. Congress realized that that no constitutional framework would be workable without the approval of the Congress. British realized this thing because in the subcontinent, Indians were in majority. So without entering or without involving the Indians, British cannot reach to their final destination. In order to get dignity among the eyes of the British, Lord Irwin held talks with Gandhi. This is the main reason that the British leader, Lord Irwin, he held talks with Gandhi. The agreement between Gandhi and Irwin was signed on 5th March 1931. The Gandhi-Irwin Pact. After negotiations, Gandhi agreed that Congress' civil disobedience campaign would end. It means that they will not protest against anything. They would not come on out on roads. They would not ban any products. Right? He would continue to peacefully support Indian goods whilst not threatening the sale of British products. It means that if you will support in the trade and commerce of the Indian goods, then definitely they will support in the British products as well. Gandhi would participate in the second roundtable conference in London. This is how Gandhi will participate in the second roundtable conference as well. Now, when I talk about Gandhi Irwin Pact on Gandhi's side, negotiation means that you are accepting the decision which is happening between both of the people. Alright, if Gandhi called off the civil disobedience campaign, Irwin promised, then in context of this, the points which Gandhi highlighted over there. So, in response to this, the points on which Irwin promised were future political changes would be in the interest of Indians. It means when I talk about India, then more favorable interest was in favor of Indians. You can say that he was supporting more Indians in that regards because it was a great loss faced by the Britishers when Indians boycotted the British products. To release from goal supporters not guilty of violent crimes, and then whoever stood up on roads and whoever boycotted about the different things. So for that purpose, it was stated over there that all of those people which were present, they all will be released on this condition. 19,000 were released. Confiscated property was returned to its owners. It means all the Indian owners who were owning those properties, they were returned by the Britishers to them. Some emergency restrictions were relaxed, and restrictions, you can say that there was a strict rule that you cannot write anything in the newspaper against the Britishers, and there were other rules as well, but more relaxation was provided into this. Now, coming to Communal Award 1932. It was by the British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald's announced Communal Award for the Communities of India. Communal Award was announced for the Communities of India by the British Prime Minister. Communal Award 1932. The Communal Award, also known as MacDonald Award, was announced after Second Roundtable Conference in 1932. Communal Award was announced after the Second Roundtable Conference. The separate electorate was introduced in Indian Council Act 1909 for Muslims and extended to Sikh and other minorities of India. Separate electorate means that they were giving them permission that they can elect themselves in the government, they can be a part of the government, and they can put their decisions forward. in favor of Muslims and in favor of other minorities as well. It means that they can participate equally. The Indians' political parties rejected the award. Gandhi started non-cooperation movement and was arrested. When I talk about second roundtable conference, you can see it very clearly that in the first roundtable conference, Indian National Congress wasn't present due to the communal award because it was in favor of Muslims and the other minorities. Due to this reason, non-cooperation movement by the political party of Gandhi was there, like, and all of those people who were involved into non-cooperation movement, they boycotted the products, they stood up on roads, so all of those people were arrested by the government. Now let's talk about Government of Indian Act 1935. The background story of Government of Indian Act 1935 is, on the suggestion of roundtable conferences, efforts were started to make the Constitution of India. The British Parliament passed the bill and it was enforced in India on 24 July 1935 as Government of Indian Act 1935. The Government of Indian Act 1935 consisted of two parts. One part was central and the other part was provincial. It means that after the Roundtable Conference, Government of Indian Act was passed, and the major reason was to discuss the matters on behalf of provincial government and on behalf of central government as well. The features of Indian National Congress is sorry, the features of Indian Act 1935 were: the system of diarchy was scrapped in the provinces and introduced in the center. The provinces were given more authority and powers, and for the first time, the provinces were made separate entities. The whole country was divided into 11 provinces. The governor general in the center and governors in the provinces were given special rights and privileges. Now, when I talk about Government of Indian Act 1935, then it states in the features, it is listed over there that provincial provinces were having rights. Provinces were having the right to speak for themselves. They were also having the right to talk about all of those 11 provinces. They were even having the rights to divide them. They were even having the rights to speak and to take decisions in favor of the government. Now, when I talk about governor general in the center and the governors in the provinces, so they were given special rights and privileges that whatever actions they want to take, so they can take it. And yes, one more thing, the point which is more highlighted is here we are talking about the 11 provinces when we were in the subcontinent. Now, the impact of Indian Act 1935 was the Act of 1935 failed to win appreciation from various sectors. Both the Muslim League and Indian National Congress expressed their dissatisfaction over the act. Muslim leader Muhammad Ali Jinnah said that scheme through rotten, fundamentally bad, and totally unacceptable. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said this act was like a machine that had strong brakes and no engines. So when I talk about the impact of Indian Act 1935, this question was included in the past paper as well. This is the main reason that I'm emphasizing much more on Indian Act. Both Muslims and Indians were not in favor of that because accordingly, if we study all of those points, so it is in favor of Britishers. It means that they are having the opportunity, or you can say that they're having the opportunity to rule upon them, and then you have to follow all of them in all of those things. All right. Now let's talk about the assignment. Well, there are 5 questions which are listed over here. You have to solve these questions in your notebook, and under my instructions on KP, you have to just post your answers over there along with MCQs. And still, if you're having any questions, then definitely you can ask me over there. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope that this presentation is understood by you. Still, if you people are having any questions, you can just ask me over there. And if there are any sort of questions, but I think that all of those misconceptions are pretty much clear. So inshallah, I'll meet you with another presentation. Till then, take care. Barakallah and Allah